Yo, what is going on YouTube? Radar 25 back again with another video. My co-host Michael Fuentemania.
What up, Marks? We're in your house.
Guys, yeah, we're literally in our own houses filming this. Our new video is going to recap for NXT Takeover in your house. Just finished watching it. Interesting show, another good takeover. The streak continues. It seems like there will never be a bad takeover ever. Cross your fingers on that, knock on wood that won't happen.
It doesn't exist. It's never gonna happen.
Well, I think the greatest thing about this show, before we get into the video, was the return of Todd Pettengill.
Oh yeah,
and
start the show. Classic.
That caught me super off guard. Really funny that he was there. They brought him back because obviously Todd Pettengill is in your house because he's there from the first one, all the way. You know, he was in a ton of them when they gave away the house, all that shit. He was in all that. So I really enjoyed the show. Overall, good matches from top to bottom.
Yeah.
A couple of decisions. Well, one decision I wasn't happy about, but it is what it is. Before we get into the video, guys, I want to remind you guys to drop a like on this video and previous video. So the subscribe button so you're not missing anything. Us as well, the notification bell. And follow me on Instagram, Twitter. Follow my live streams, Twitch, Mixer, all stuff up on the screen right now. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's get right into the video, our recap of NXT TakeOver in your house. All right, guys, so the first match on the card was the 6-woman tag, Shotzi Blackheart, Mia Yim, Tegan Nox versus Raquel Gonzalez, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai. This match was set up last week. Not last week, on Wednesday, during NXT TV. We all, you know, that's when the match was all set up because all these feuds are kind of like bumping into each other. So, you know, it's a 6-person tag. The way 6-person tags work nowadays, ton of spots. Everybody gets their spot where they're kind of like getting on top of the rope and jumping off on the crowd of people.
Someone rolls out and then 2 people go in, or 3 people, and someone rolls out and another person comes in. It's all, you know, it's all choreographed. We've seen it a million times. It becomes a kind of a huge mess at points. It was entertaining though. There was some messy little spots, but it was pretty entertaining. The one thing I didn't like was they didn't really work on the feuds that were already going on to lead into this match. Like there wasn't a lot of like the girls that were feuding, you know, storyline wise, that were kind of, we saw a lot of them fighting. I didn't see all of that, so it didn't really add to any of the feuds going on anyway. But that was my only gripe. Solid match by the girls. They did a great job.
Yeah, we got to see Mia Yim and Candice LeRae brawl towards that garage in the back, and they kind of got out the match, you know, towards the end, and it would basically turn into a tag team match. 4-people tag team match was between Shotzi and Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. So the feud is there between Shotzi and Raquel, and Nox and Kai. Like they've gone back. Nox and Kai to me kind of feel like the Ciampa and Gargano of the women's division because they're kind of just like always have their issue. They were friends before. One turn on the other, and then they go apart, but then they're still kind of together, so they're still fighting. So match was fast paced, a lot of fun. You know, some mess ups here and there. I think like, you know, Raquel Gonzalez, she comes off as the one with the least experience, and some of the spots were like, you know, a lot of stuff going on, but they did, you know, have an issue where Dakota Kai by mistake kicked Raquel Gonzalez in the face, and that led to the finish of the match where Tegan Nox gave her the chokeslam and the shiniest wizard, and that was the end of the match. So, you know, Marco Ronaldo really played up the fact that Tegan Nox pinned Dakota Kai. So, you know, that made the victory even sweeter. You know, I don't know where they go from here, like in terms of that feud. I think maybe Shotzi and Tegan team up a lot more against Raquel and Kai for the most part. And maybe they'll do singles matches here and there. Maybe they'll even get chances at the women's titles, the tag team titles. Obviously, the fact that Yim and LeRae brawled out away from the match and they didn't come back continues to hype up their feud, that their feud is still going to be there. And also with Keith Lee as well and Johnny Gargano being involved in that feud. So we'll probably see some more mixed tags and stuff like that. But we were wrong. We picked the heels to win this match. The babyfaces won. So we're 0-1 in that aspect right there. As of right now, we're 0-1. But solid way to start off the show. You know, good opening match. Get everybody going and get everything now. Love the set. They brought back.
The set was great. Old school.
It looked a little bit like misplaced because the place looked very small.
It was real tight.
Real tight.
And even like the space around the ring, I've never seen it so tight. Like there was some parts where they had to like really get by the steps.
Ring steps.
It was and like with the whole plexiglass everywhere, it just definitely felt really tight. But it was still cool to see the old in your house set from back in the day.
Yeah, it was cool to see that. And the next match on the show was Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. Now, we went in, our predictions were Finn Balor was going to win this match. We both agreed on that. Yep. And that is what happened. Finn Balor got the win here. But the match itself, very, very solid match.
Yeah. I was surprised, really.
Yeah. You know what? It ended up being like better than anybody thought it would be. Yep. Not to like, you know, say that it was going to be, yeah, not to say it was going to be bad, because obviously both guys are good, but they just never wrestled before, you know. So this is the first time they're meeting, first time they're in a match together, and it came out good. You know, it looked like Priest may have gotten the upset, but then when he took that bump off the apron onto the ring steps or on the outside, that was a nasty looking bump, because he's so tall that the steps need to be further back, because the length of his body flying back like that hit like everything, the lower part of his back.
Again, like just the arena being so tight, everything being so tight, just like the was a mishap on like the timing and the, you know, where everybody was.
Yeah. And, you know, but like Priest looked really good in this match. I think, you know, that was the whole point of this match. It was obviously Balor was going to get the win because they're keeping him super strong going into whenever he will have that match with Walter. But Priest, you know, this match was just supposed to make Priest look good and showing that he can hang with these guys that are upper, top of the card, you know. But that was the best spot of the match, was that stair bump where, you know, he's just so tall that his body's so long that it just kind of overshot it just a little bit, landing on his lower back. It looked pretty nasty, but I assume he's okay and everything like that. Finn Balor hit, you know, a coup de grace on Priest's like the upper back area, and then hit the regular coup de grace to win the match right there. Still don't know how he does that match, and people don't shit their pants. I don't know.
For real, it's like right in the gut. I mean, it's like it's the wrestling magic, man. It's like one of those magic. Like, how do they do that?
Yeah.
I was really impressed. Like going in, the storyline was kind of cheesy with it being attacked. Like it was kind of just a filler for Finn against Walter. We're just waiting for that. This was filling in for that. They both had great timing. The chemistry was there. Both guys really, you know, were getting their stuff in. The match flowed really good. I was really impressed. I was, again, surprised it was so good. And it's pretty much going to be the end of this, I'm sure. I doubt this goes on any longer.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Finn will probably go for the title or something, or, you know, whatever, bigger and better things. But Priest really showed his stock, that he's got some stock, you know, to invest in, because he has the size, he's got good look, and he can go with anybody. So I was impressed by him for sure.
Yeah, I was impressed too. Like that's what it was made for, to make Priest look better. Yeah. You know, and you know, who knows? He might go back into the North American title picture as well. See what he does with there. Maybe even gets like a match against Adam Cole, maybe for the NXT Championship.
Yeah,
something
like a fill-in match somewhere. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I can see him making a little bit of a run and maybe even winning that North American title sometime. But yeah. Shout out to Priest. Shout out to Balor. They both look good in this match. Obviously, Balor is a seasoned veteran who always puts in a good match, and Priest, a younger guy, in terms of WWE and you know
exposure.
So good to see him really get the rub on this one. Even though he doesn't get the win, it doesn't hurt him whatsoever. It makes him, I think, more appealing to people, because you can see that you can have a good match, and that's mostly what people care about. You know, so, like wins and losses obviously do matter, but sometimes when you take the L, it's more about how you look in the match rather than the actual outcome.
Mean, it goes back to the old Stone Cold WrestleMania 13. You know, he didn't win that match; he passed out in his blood, but he became the most over baby face of all time. So. It all depends on
how you work it. Now, what do they do with Priest after this?
Yeah,
will be interesting to see. Obviously, that's going to help. Good job by Priest. It makes him look good. And you know, Finn Balor comes away with the win. Next thing on the show was Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano.
Limitless.
Yes, for the North American Championship. This was probably the second best match of the night.
And shout out to Gargano's Mandalorian look coming out.
Yes, he did have like some type of Mandalorian. Yeah.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, he came through the door, not the garage. Correct?
Yeah, he came through the door. Yeah. Because he had the key.
She lost later on.
Yeah.
We all know this is going to be an awesome match. Both guys can go. Both guys always put a great match together, and especially with it being a takeover event, you know, Johnny Gargano's going to show up. Johnny Takeover, as per usual. You know, really back and forth match. You know, it's interesting because the size difference, right? So Keith Lee's so much bigger than Johnny Gargano, but Johnny Gargano was working the hands because he had the injured hand, and working the eye because of the previous eye injury. So a lot of that stuff to keep Keith Lee down. A couple of feats of strength from Keith Lee. I remember Johnny Gargano did a suicide dive and got caught by Keith Lee like a baby.
Yeah, he's such a monster, man.
Yeah, he's such a big guy.
And don't forget that crazy shove outside through the plexiglass, like hockey style, and the boards went right through. So I was like, God damn.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy stuff that happened. So Gargano targeting the hand for most of the match. At one point, he tries to escape back through the door, and it was locked. And they had the camera. Now, who knew that they had like one of those Ring doorbell cameras? That door. He's trying to get back through. Doesn't have the key. And a funny, funny spot right there where Keith Lee shows up behind him and beats him up from there. What do you call it? Keith Lee does retain the title here, which.
I was kind of surprised.
I took it as a surprise. So right now we got the first match wrong. We got the second match right. Now we got the third match wrong because we both picked Johnny Gargano to win this match.
I just thought
Keith Lee came out with the win.
Yeah. I mean, again, we just thought this is Gargano's taking over NXT, and as a number one heel and probably needed the title. For me anyway, I felt that you probably needed a title going forward, but it's all right. They'll keep this going. This is going to be more than one match. It's going to be like a whole little, maybe not a trilogy, but definitely they're going to have a run together, which I think at the end of the run, Gargano will be the North American champion at the end.
I don't think this feud is over. Not yet, especially with Yim and LeRae still beefing.
It's nowhere near done. There's no way. But Gargano, man, he's Mr. NXT Takeover. He just is. Like, every match that he has is just top 5 match. I mean, he's so good. He's like, I'm gonna say it. I might get some hate, but he's this era's Shawn Michaels when it comes to in the ring. He's gonna show up every time and give you a great match, no matter who's up against, big, small, same size, doesn't matter. Always gives you a 5-star match every time.
I see where you're coming from. For me, it's more. I think AJ Styles is more the Shawn Michaels of there.
Yeah, but like of this I'm saying of NXT, of this like era of like just this like newer group of guys. I mean, we know AJ for 20 years now, so
yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, but okay. So obviously, we all knew it was gonna be a good match. Like I said, second best match of the night. Enjoyed the camera spot with the door. That was probably the best spot of the match.
Yeah.
Also, Gargano getting caught like a baby was pretty funny. But this match may have taken it over the top if it would have had a actual live crowd, not just NXT wrestlers out there. Yeah. But it is what it is. Keith Lee retains. The feud is not over yet. But remember, we picked Gargano to win, so we were wrong on this match as well.
Yes. But he will end up being champ.
I think so too. Next thing on the show was the backlot brawl.
Race wars.
Yeah, race wars from Fast and Furious. Adam Cole versus the Velveteen Dream. So Adam Cole comes in a big truck, a lifted truck with big wheels on it.
Stone Cold style.
With like undisputed shit all over it.
Yeah.
He shows up. So this ring is there, surrounded by a bunch of cars, with the headlights being like the lighting for the ring. And then the Dream shows up in a yellow Lamborghini. He's dressed like Negan from The Walking Dead. He has the
Lucille and everything.
Yeah, the bat, the leather jacket with the red scarf. So match ensues. Now this is like it was kind of like one of those cinematic matches WWE's been doing, but they had the commentary in it. So it's a little bit different. The other ones, don't really have commentary. So this one did have commentary over the top of the actual match itself. There's a lot of brawling going around in the beginning. Yeah.
What you expected? You're on the street. They got the cars going. This I swear, in that new WWE Battlegrounds game that's coming out, I guarantee you there will be a level like this.
Yeah,
I'm guaranteeing you right now, like an outdoor car. That's what they were building on. This is what they're going to show. But like I thought it was good. They were walking into the buildings. There's fire extinguishers, the whole works. There was a crazy ladder spot where you got Cole and Dream on a ladder. Here come the Undisputed Era to and then he's like, "Yeah, I got this," and then bang, Dream just hits him and falls right into the windshield.
So they had this shitty looking Dodge that was there. Yeah. That Cole tried to run away in. Dream used the bat on the car, beat the shit out of the car, and then they eventually led to the spot when they're on top of the ladder, and then Cole falls through the windshield and cuts himself up. It's an interesting location that they were doing this at because it looked like a fake studio shop,
kind of like Universal Studios when you walk through the Hollywood Studios part.
Yeah, you see like buildings, but they're actually like fake buildings. That's what it looked like. Yeah.
yeah.
So then, most of everything was closed, locked doors except one. That's what Adam Cole was hiding in. Hit the fire extinguisher spot. So Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong showed up, and they were helping out Adam Cole. But then my boy Dexter Lumis pops out of the bottom of the ring. There the entire time.
Forgot about Dexter.
Yes,
man.
he came out and cleaned house, and then stuck both Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong in the trunk of the car and drove away with them.
God knows where he took him, fucking Dexter style with the dark passenger on him. Just took him, God knows where. Yeah,
took him somewhere
to go murder them.
To probably put the lotion on the skin. That's probably what he went to go do. But we'll see more of that eventually, maybe on NXT this upcoming Wednesday.
Because he definitely kidnapped them. We don't know where he took them.
Now, Strong and Fish went into the bed of the truck before, obviously, Loomis showed up, and they threw a bunch of chairs in the ring. This will go in a little bit later. This is the point where I thought Dream was going to get the win right here.
Yeah.
So Dream hits him with Death Valley Driver, and then he hits him with the.
He should have done it on the chairs.
He did it, yeah. Then for some reason, after he hits Death Valley Driver, Adam Cole decides to sit on a chair, and then he gets the Rainmaker elbow right on his face. That was not the end of the match. After that, Adam Cole with the Panama Sunrise, the Canadian Destroyer, whatever the hell you want to call it, onto all the chairs and would pick up the win. I thought this was good. Now, remember the stipulation was that if Dream loses, he cannot face Adam Cole again for the title.
So what do you do?
What do you do unless somebody's going to take it from Cole and then drop it to Dream?
Who's better than Dream right now to take it from Cole?
I thought this was going to be it. I thought Dream was going to win this match. I thought this was going to be the crowning achievement. Dream finally wins the NXT Championship, but it wasn't meant to be. The streak continues for Adam Cole.
I think it's 272 days.
370 days.
377, and counting. I mean.
Great
match. It was a good match. Not great. Good match. It was what it was. These brawls, so many punching kicks that you're gonna watch and be entertained about. They did some fun spots in the ring. The car thing was cool. Each guy coming out in their own car. It was fun. It was good. But I don't know, man. They really should have Dream win it. I just feel like Cole's had his run. It's time to give it to Dream and let the babyface do his thing, or the tweener. Him and Dexter Lumis is running roughshod through NXT would have been great, but I guess maybe later on, who knows what's next for Dream.
Maybe it would be more of Dream and Lumis versus Undisputed Era and like that. The feud will continue maybe, and they'll find another creative way to maybe Dream just doesn't win the title. And it could be one of those guys that just doesn't win it.
He's our era's Piper.
He won North American title, got injured and all that, he lost it. But I kind of felt like this. We were both wrong on this one as well. We thought Dream was going to win it. He obviously doesn't.
This was the most given match to me. I thought that was the most given. He was just going to win the match.
Yeah,
especially where it was placed. As it started, I was like, oh, this is it was the fourth match of the night. I really thought that was all right, so they'll have him win it, but no, nothing.
Yep. So we're 1-3 on the night.
Yeah.
Next match, we got one right. It was Tommaso Ciampa versus Karrion Kross. This was a foregone conclusion going in, right? You knew that Karrion Kross was going to win the match.
And Scarlett stole the show again.
She normally does. So and you called it. I mean, it wasn't exactly like the way you said it was going to be. You wanted it to be more of like a Brock Lesnar, Cena, SummerSlam dismantling.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
It was pretty close.
It wasn't that bad because Ciampa got some offense in here and there, but
it wasn't far off. Though.
This was all Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross destroyed Ciampa, which was the smart thing to do.
You had to.
You had to kind of have him come in and hotshot him immediately, because if you're gonna have him go in his first match against arguably the top guy in NXT, he has to kind of just go right through him, because if he doesn't, it's just they had. Because if you go with they have a really good match together, it's really back and forth. It's that's fine, but you want to really make an impact with this guy because of the gimmick that he has. Is the fall and pray. He's like TikTok. It's like the end of the world.
His entrance is so dramatic and everything's just so huge. And this is where I think AEW messed up with Lance Archer, making a monster and not finishing it off. Where here in NXT they're building a monster and they're making him unstoppable, which is what you want from your monster. Hence why it's called a monster heel. And Kross has the look.
Let's see, because they could fumble it later on, but I don't think they will. But you're right. It's AEW fumbled on the Archer thing in the end.
Yeah, this is like Ciampa, like you said, is let's say the number 2 guy or 1A in NXT right now, him and Gargano. On whatever day that you wake up, it could be a different guy, but for him to go in there and completely dominate the way he did, that was that's the way you do it, because you're building this monster heel that, you know, he has to do like a Goldberg type of thing where he goes undefeated for a while, unstoppable, you know, not a baby face, but just be the heel monster, destroy everyone. That's the point of this guy. Those guys are always fun. I like it. They did a smart job. Good job, Triple H.
Yeah. Karrion Kross dominated the whole match. Tons of suplexes, tons of stuff that was like towards like the injured neck or the repaired neck of
F5.
Ciampa.
He did an F5
He
as
did
well.
an F5, yeah. Surprisingly, maybe they're teasing eventually Brock Lesnar versus Karrion Kross. I doubt it, but you never know. But interesting ending. Ciampa doesn't actually get pinned or tap out. He gets choked out. You know, this doesn't hurt Ciampa whatsoever. No. He kind of went in underestimating Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross came out like a like a rocket out of it came out like a rocket out of somebody's ass and just took it to Ciampa and took him out and completely destroyed him, which is interesting to see. It's the right thing to do, I think, because the guy where you're building him and the guy's gimmick. And now it's not over. I think Ciampa will go again after him and try, like, this time take him seriously, and they'll have like more of a back and forth, really good match. But we were right. We picked Karrion Kross. It was the obvious choice. So shout out to Karrion Kross for getting his win over Ciampa on his first takeover. All right. Well, before we get to the main event, we'll talk about an interesting thing with Top Pettingale. He's showing merchandise, which they normally really don't.
This was a retro.
They do it every once. They've done it every once in a while, like on Raw, where they'll have superstars there with like the merchandise behind them. But this was like Top Pettingale showing the merchandise for NXT. He said called the 900 number, and it was a funny thing where 900 numbers don't exist. Obviously, go on WWE Shop, and then he cuts to Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Road Dogg on like a really old looking computer. If you've seen Shawn Michaels before, there's a gif of him, you know, on, I think it was on In Your House or a Raw, where he's like touching a computer like real, like, like you don't know what he's doing. And they're doing the similar thing. It was like, it was dumb, but it was like, it's a callback to that, so it was kind of funny.
It was cool. It was like the whole night was a retro feel. It had like the whole 90s look of In Your House. They did a great job, even like with the graphics, everything was great. That was funny. Just seeing Top Pettingale in that awful jacket.
It's funny. It's funny. It's good to see him back. He's getting a paycheck, you know.
$50. Here you go, bud.
So guys, the next thing on the show was the main event, the triple threat for the NXT Women's Championship. You got Charlotte the champion versus Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley. It's had a big fight feel to it. You know, the way it started and everything like that. This match was the best match of the night. You know,
I think so.
And it was nonstop. It was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Io Shirai did some interesting stuff. She got thrown through the window set. So obviously the set had the garage, the front door, and then like the bay window. She got thrown through that, but then she climbed on top of the door and jumped off and landed on Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. You know, a lot of this was kind of Charlotte doing her thing, really showing her dominance, stuff like that. Rhea Ripley doing, you know, throwing her stuff in there as well. But I was wrong on this one. I picked Charlotte to win, and you picked
Io Shirai,
the underdog,
the dark horse.
And you were right. Io Shirai is the new NXT Women's Champion. You know, I'm cool with it. Shout out to her. I never really noticed. I guess maybe I was just ignorant to it, but she is tremendous in the ring.
I told you,
she really is tremendous in the ring. I guess I just never really paid attention or really anything like that. But she really is good. I already saw her in this match. She was really, really tremendous in this match. Now, the ending, it was kind of weird.
That's where I get to. Like, okay, I get what they were doing. They had, you know, Charlotte still looking strong, Rhea still looking strong because she didn't tap out, right? And then here comes Io Shirai off a moonsault, hits it. Great.
Hits it weird.
Like
I kind of felt like she landed on like Rhea's head and fucked her up. Maybe knocked her out, but whatever. I don't know. It was kind of weird.
But like for some reason, Charlotte's stuck in like the figure four or something. I don't know what she's doing, and it's a 1, 2, 3 where Charlotte's like 6'5". She can totally knock out or kick her off from the pin. It just felt kind of weird and choppy.
It's weird because she's the one in control of the figure four.
So just break out of it.
Her legs are free, right? Especially I believe it's the left one that goes over her other one like that, right? The figure four. So she could have easily kicked Io Shirai and got her off. But the finish is kind of odd because you're right. She could have just easily it was
weird. It was a weird ending.
Their ass and fuck off.
Like I get what they were trying to do. They try to keep everybody strong there and like Rhea Ripley was getting the figure 8 on her and then a moonsault to her face. So it's like, what are you gonna do? You know? But I don't know. It was It was kind of weird.
There was another spot that was kind of odd where it was Rhea Ripley hitting her finisher pump handle slam off the top rope on Charlotte and going for the pin. Io Shirai was a little bit late on the breakup.
And the referee kind of was, It
looked like he counted 3 or he was just like, he was kind of in between. Because remember, like they're supposed to, the referee is supposed to treat it like if everything is like
a 3.
Yeah, if it's a 3, right? They're not supposed to like assume that's gonna be a kick out or anything like that. So it was kind of a little bit off. The timing was off on there, but a couple little things like that were noticeable in the match. But for the most part, it was a super exciting match. Smart move to put this as the main event. Yep. I thought they were gonna put the NXT Championship as the main event, but smart to do this one because I guess you don't want to end it on one that doesn't take place in the arena.
Yeah.
You can. They've done it before and it's worked, but maybe just kind of change it up a little bit. But this felt like the bigger feud
of going in there.
Of going in there.
From all the feuds, this felt like the biggest one. And I want to see where Charlotte goes. Like, does Charlotte stay in NXT? Does she,
I mean, she might go after she might have to go after Shirai. They probably have not Shirai, Ripley. They have like more of like a issue.
Yeah, more feud. But without the title, does it mean anything? I mean, I don't know.
You can't go back and do another triple threat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you really can't. And like, where does Io go from here? Who's her next opponent? Is it Rhea? It's so many different ways you can go from here. Charlotte can go back up to Raw or SmackDown, do something up there. Or they could do the feud for her, Rhea. I don't know. We'll see. But definitely, I thought Io should have won it. She's been one of the best in NXT in the women's division for a while now. I mean, she lays her shit in, like the old hardcore, strong style, Japanese style. She's staying true to that. So I dig her.
I mean, if you look at it now, you got AW Women's Champion is Hikaru Shida. Raw Women's Champion is Asuka, and the NXT Women's Champion is Io Shirai. So Japanese women are doing their thing right now.
Yeah.
They got 3 titles. Now, Charlotte, where does she go from here? Does she go face Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship? Does she face Asuka eventually? Does she go away for a little bit?
Maybe she goes away for a little bit.
Or maybe she just goes through all 3 shows. She just keeps moving around.
Yeah. She's the queen. She can do that.
Yeah, but shout out to Io Shirai. Tremendous performer in the ring. Never really notice it or given her credit for it, but she's tremendous in the ring.
She stands out.
Yeah, and Rhea Ripley continues to be like a force, obviously in the women's division. Maybe it's Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley do a program together. Let's see what happens. Charlotte, we'll see what happens to her. She'll probably just maybe go all 3 shows, but I don't think it's too soon to take the title off of Charlotte. I mean, she's had it since WrestleMania. WrestleMania is what?
2 months ago.
Yeah.
In quarantine, like that's like 3 years ago. So.
Yeah, it feels like it. So, I think it was more just to give a shine to the NXT Women's Championship and give it more like, okay, our biggest star, women's star, female star, our second behind Becky, biggest female star is now the NXT champion. So it's like to give it around, stuff like that. So, and then good to see Shirai win this. Yeah. She deserves it, obviously. And let's see where she goes from here, how they book her after this. And if this feud continues on, we'll see. But guys, that was NXT Takeover in your house. Really, really good show. Another notch in the belt of NXT Takeovers. It's just nonstop good ones every single time.
I hope they continue to do the in your house style at least once a year because it's fun. I mean, I love it. It throws all the old school feels. I'm a sucker for nostalgic, and that's my glory days of being like a 10, 12-year-old kid. So it's the best. It's the best.
Yeah.
Love it.
No, it would be cool to do it maybe a couple times out of the year, or if they don't have one that because they're all named after the city they take place in. Or they could do this, and it just in your house that takes place at Full Sail or something like that. It doesn't have to be anything crazy.
I like it. I mean, even bring back some other stuff like do another Starrcade or Bash at the Beach. I don't know, just bring back all these cool names of Vote pay-per-views.
But I am loving the start and finish times of these events because they started at 7, 9:30 finish. That's super awesome.
And when and over here in the East Coast, when by 8:30 it's freaking still sun outside, it's great. Like you don't feel like you're like, oh, they're gonna work tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah, and then you're like, it's like 11, 12, and you're like, shit's still on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But guys, that's the video for today. Our recap for NXT Takeover in your house. Remember, for those working, do not do the job.
Later, Marks.